Hey everybody, welcome to another episode. And today is the day I share with you what frame flex is. Many of you say, well, how do you know you have frame flex? Or how are you measuring it? Or things of that nature. So I'm going to take you through all of that today. And we are actually going to see, because I mounted a camera on my rig, you're actually going to see the hitch pin, if you will, flex quite a bit on the frame, and you'll see how all that's happening. You're going to see the back and forth and the sideways and all that kind of stuff. And if your frame is doing this or your rig is doing this, you have frame flex, and that's what's destroying the slide outs on my particular rig, as well as what tore itself apart before it went up to Grand Design, and they had it for a month and repaired it all. But everything they did, shouldn't say everything because we haven't taken it apart yet, but it looks like most of what they did has failed. Not sure if they did correct the welds like the service manager said they did, as we all looked at those, and you're going to show some pictures of that up here, but you'll see that some of those welds aren't great and they were not penetrating the metal. Be that as may, maybe they did fix them, I don't know. I can't prove that until we take everything apart again. The whole front end of this rig has to come apart again, as well as the underbelly skin and all that kind of stuff. That's the only way to know. But what you can visually see is how much this hitch pin, if you will, is flexing on this frame, and you can see the frame moving back and forth, sideways, everything. And you can clearly see we've got frame flex, broken welds, call it what you want, but it's not right. So before we get started, let me apologize. I did not get a video out last Sunday. I was jam-packed with so many other things on my plate that I had to take care of. Some new things are coming. I can't share any of that with you now, but I will. But I was very, very busy with all of that. I just didn't get time to finish the editing and get the video out. So my sincere apologies for that. But let's dive right into this. Okay. Now they did, as you know from the last video, fix the slide out. It does work. It does go in and out. We have moved once since then, and it is still working. Yay! Crossing fingers. It stays that way. However, we still have the problems, the popping and the bending and everything that you're going to see here in a bit. But before we start, let me go over some of the basics. And we're going to talk about the frame flex and how you measure it, at least from the perspective of Lippert, what they recommend. Now, when the technicians were here, they measured it differently, which I questioned, and they said, well, that's how they were told to measure it. So, again, I'm not a certified welder, and while I am an engineer, I am not going to say I'm an engineer on frames for RVs. But the basic mechanics aren't that different. It's not like there's different engineering you would have on a frame than you would on anything else that we would do. So math is math, numbers are numbers. But anyway, I'm going to show you what they did, and we're going to show you what Lippert recommends, and we're also going to show you what I did to see the measurement, or see the flex and the difference in the measurements. So let's stop all this rambling, let's get into it. Okay, the first thing you should know is I mounted with a big strong magnet, actually two magnets. I mounted my action cam right to the hitch pin, so nobody can say, well, you mounted on the wrong part. This part right here, this is bolted to the plates, which are then welded up to the frame. Nothing should move here. You should not see any difference. So this should move with the frame as you're running down the road. The only thing that's going to pivot is the fifth wheel hitch that's in the back of your truck. And you're going to get this blue plate that's going to pivot or move a little bit. Mostly it goes back and forth or left to right from this big rubber pad that's in there. And that is to shock or absorb the shock of the road when it's connected. So, but we're not connected to that. As I mentioned, we're connected right to the steel part of the hitch. Now let's also talk about measurement. When you're measuring the frame, what you have to do is you go down to here, and where the frame comes to the front panel here, which is right about there, you have to measure from that point there up to, see if I get this in focus, up to that part of the frame right here. Right here. You can also, in talking with the Lippert technician, you can go to this part of the frame as well. The very front there. The Lippert guys, the Grand Design service techs, when they were here, they measured to this back corner. Big difference between, if I can get this out far enough, big difference between here and here. So this line right here is really what they were measuring, and they only got an 1/8 of an inch movement. However, they openly admitted that they saw this go up like that each time they put weight on this front of this tongue. So that's about an 1.5 to 2 inch movement that they saw. You guys are going to see that here when I take it off the truck, that it moves that much. But again, they measured it from the very back lip there instead of what Lippert recommends, and that is right in front of the bolt right here. Right there. So we're going to now dive into the movement. Now I've got probably 1.5 hours, 2 hours of video of this camera watching this thing bounce around. I'm not going to bore you guys with all of that. I'm just going to take a couple of the highlights of the extreme and then a couple just normal running down the road of how much it moves even on that, so you guys can see the flex. And it's, I'll admit, when you're looking at this way on this camera that you're going to see, you'll see it move side to side or left to right a little bit, but not as much as you see the nodes diving down and going back, and how much that it flexes that way. That you really can tell. Okay, but that is the frame flex. So if your rig's going to do any of this, you have frame flex. Now I apologize, this is going to be a very short video, but you'll get a good idea when you're seeing how much this moves when we're running down the road. Now take a look at how much this is moving when we're just normal road, no bumps. It moves a little bit, but not bad. But now here you can see we just went over a bridge viaduct and how much it bounces when you go over a bridge. Yeah, that's a lot of movement, guys. Okay, so as I said, this is going to be kind of a short video. You can see that there's a tremendous amount of frame flex here. I have called up to Grand Design, and they have seen this video. Waiting to hear back from them on what they want to do again next. Made a couple of proposals to them on how to get it corrected, and we'll see what they say. I'm not going to share that right now. I want to give them the opportunity to do the right thing, and let's work something out to get it all taken care of. So with that, I'll keep you guys updated once I hear back from them on what next steps are. And again, hopefully we'll get it all taken care of and everybody will all walk away happy with something resolved. And as always, guys, I appreciate all of your comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that little bell to remind you that I'm putting out another video that'll give you updates on all of this kind of stuff. So thanks for watching, and make it a great bucket list day. Goodbye.